I got a question. It was actually a DM, a barber school or an apprenticeship.
This close with all this dope, to keep cooking is a concept. No sweat, no contest. Got now, plus I'm next. Sending signs up to the skies. I thank God for my progress. This blessings, oh Lord, hallelujah.
We're on G right now. We're in the car. This is my brother Hasheem. It's a blessing to have him here with me right now. What's going on, everyone? We were walking to the shop. He went and picked me up. I got a question. It was actually a DM. He said, I have a person I look up to. I want to be in the shop, in that area. And I'm looking at either barber school or an apprenticeship.
If you have the time and the ability to support yourself, like financially and all that, while you could go to school for 6 hours a day, usually it's like 6 to 8 hours a day at a barber school, then go that route and get your license and get completed within like 9 months. Usually it's like 9 months depending on the state, wherever state that you're at. Now,
he was in Arizona.
He's in Arizona, so I'm not sure how long Arizona's process is for school. But in California, the apprentice program is 2 years, right?
Do you think maybe it's more important to go ahead and get that those first amount of heads in? Because in a barber school, I know that's your chance to kind of mess people up. Like they come in there and they know that you're just a learning barber, and you're a beginner. Do you think he should jump into the shop if his skills aren't?
Well, yeah, this is how I look at this, right? You don't feel like your skills are up to par. And barber school is not necessarily going to be a way to get you up to par. For real, because all they're really concerned about when you go to barber school is getting you to pass that state board exam.
Okay.
So there's people that come out of barber school all the time that don't know how to cut hair or can't cut hair next to like a J faded or one of the barbers that work in the shop. But so you have to look at the opportunity. Is he could he be a great barber and maybe even a great instructor to learn from? Yeah. Because it's like anything. If you see something happen enough, you put your work in and your time in, then eventually you'll start cutting and adopting techniques and you'll be on that same level. You might even advance past them. And if this is an opportunity for you, look at you. You came damn near across the country to be an apprentice. It was somebody you didn't even know how they were going to get down. Right. You don't even know how much you're going to see them, how much interaction with the other barbers in the shop were going to be like. But sometimes you take a chance, and you pick up as much game as possible. And barber school is always there. But remember, your barber school hours and your apprentice hours are not interchangeable. So whatever path that you decide, I would say stick with that. That way you don't have to relearn some things or you go back through, because it ain't nothing like learning and making money at the same time. Especially if you had that financial, that little base for you. Right.
I feel like the risk that you mentioned the risk taken, by making that jump. The fastest way I learned, because I had someone tell me, like, Joel, you got to make sure you find someone that's done exactly what you want to do, and then just model their steps. Like model what works for them, and see if you can apply that. Because once we learn something and we apply it, our life changes.
Yeah. One of the things about when if you go the apprentice route, you're gonna pick up all the habits, good and bad, of the people that are around you, and you won't know because you just see other barbers doing that. So if it's sanitation, if it's all those things that are important when you actually take your state board test, if you see barbers mishandling razors and things like that, you're gonna mishandle razors and things like that because they already got their license. They're good. But when you go to the state board test, and this is what happens, people start fumbling over their tests and things like their implements and not sanitizing. Right. That's when it really trips them up. So you're in an apprentice program. You got to make sure your apprentice teacher is teaching you all the stuff so you have the basics of the fundamentals. Every person that you see comes in and out of my chair, I try to treat them like they're like my most loved family members. Like if this was my last service, to like my grandfather or somebody like that. Like, how can I give them the very best of me? You know, how can I make them feel amazing? Like, is there nose hairs that I can get, ear hair that I can get? Is there something extra that I can give them that they don't get anywhere else? Right. And that's just the physical part of my service. The next part is talking to them, understanding them, and seeing, like, if you start opening people up, you'll start understanding where their insecurities lies, what they most anxiety about. Okay. And so while I'm giving the service, if they have a job interview or something like that coming up, like, I'm putting that back into them. Like, hey, man, I know you're going to get that. Man, you looking clean. You know, like, I build them up that way.
Make them confident. I remember you spoke to me about that, and you said, man, that's a good look on you. You tell them things that are encouraging. Yeah. If it's a new experience they're about to have, you know, they have a positive memory when they go to your chair every time, because you're encouraging them, you're giving them this fresh look, they feel confident. So would you say it's in that order? First you get your skills, you get your customer service? Well, first you got to pass the state board.
First you pass your state board, but you got to care about people. Okay. You gotta care. You gotta care enough to take yourself out the equation and pour into people what they need. You know, other barbers are very transactional. Transactional means you come in and you sit in Jay Fade's hair, and man, let me get a fade. Give them a fade. It's clean. You get them in and out. And they might mess with you for years, right? But if you want to differentiate your service and you want to start using the power of your customer base, is connecting with people and lifting them up, because people haircut will fade, but the way you make them feel, they'll always remember that.
Always remember. So the three like main sentences I'll hear you say when someone walks in the door, say you're 5 minutes behind schedule, you'll say, hey, how's it going, Jeremy? I'm actually 5 minutes behind. I'm gonna be right with you. Yeah. Okay. And then I'll hear you say things like, you know, how can I make you feel your best, or how can we make you look your best? And then I'll hear you say things like, you know, throughout the haircut, you're encouraging them, you're making sure it's certain lengths and things or how they wanted it. Are there any like specific, you know, phrases or things a barber could say if he's trying to work on his customer service skill?
Oh yeah, your consultation, I found, is the most important thing, right? Because this is what I was doing when I was a new barber, and I didn't really understand the value of a consultation. I would get somebody in my chair, ask them what they wanted, right? And they say like a ball fade. Okay. But you're an artist, so how you see a ball fade and what they're expecting in a ball fade, they'll tell you all different types of numbers. Let me get an 8 on top, a 3/16 on the side, and they don't know what the hell that they're talking about.
Yeah, that length might be completely different than what they had in mind.
So you try to make it a co-creative experience where the first time somebody gets in your chair, they feel like they're empowered and that you're listening to them. Right. So I break it down very simple. Hey man, do you want to see some skin on the sides? Do you want to see your wave pattern come out? And then I break it down even simpler than that. Hey, I don't know what length that you want when you say a 9 on the top. Yeah. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take out my guards. We're gonna take some time. I'm gonna show you the mirror at a few different lengths, and you tell me which is a good length for you. That way, at the end of the haircut, they have the power, and they chose what their top length was, what their sides were, and I just brought out the vision that they saw for themselves. Wow. Okay. You know, so I removed my personal like flair out of it, because people will give you all the trust in the world once they know that you'll listen to them and that you'll give them what they want. Right. Yeah. Most of my clients, they don't even ask me anymore, but it took multiple haircuts at the very beginning. Yeah. Hey, how's that length? How's that length? Just show them the mirror. Show them the mirror. Hey, how's this length? How does this look for you? And then explain it to them. Not only what I'm doing, but the products I'm using, hey, I'm using olive oil because
they
it's
appreciate
moisturizer. Yeah, they're using bay rum. This is going to be jarring.
So you tell them why you're using it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before I put a hot towel, this is going to be warm. Before I put a cold towel, this is going to be cold. I give them used to the experience. So every time they sit in the chair, they get the same experience every time.
Okay.
You know, because inconsistency draws people away faster than anything. You do a great fade, razor, nose trim. Next week, you give them some water, and then the week after that, you don't give them the water. You don't give them a hot towel. You become inconsistent.
Yeah.
You know, and so now you have the power, but they don't have the power to choose what they want. That's why McDonald's always serves you a hamburger the same way every damn time.
Hey, no matter where you go, it's the same.
You get consistent service. So
yeah,
figure out a way to get consistency. That's one of the most important things.
It's the biggest tip. Be consistent. Mm-hmm. So I want to talk about your product. I know it's one of the hottest products right now, and you have a test group of students that are succeeding, doing really well.
Yes.
When you first started as a barber student, what were the hurdles that you went over, that you learned from?
The program is the practice exam for the barber test, right? So I cover all the topics that you're going to need to know: skin and scalp disorder, anatomy, physiology, sanitation,
That's
different.
Wild.
You're like all the stuff that you need to know, no matter if you're in California, if you're in Arizona, if you're in Arkansas. I cover all that, right? But this is the problem that I had. I studied my ass off, right? I had this big ass Milady's handbook, and I went through it. I mean, I have it at home, but it's highlighted. And I've taken the test in Maryland and California. But the problem is that I didn't know what they were gonna ask me. And I had an idea that certain things were important.
Right.
But Jay, like, you have 9 months of studying under your belt for this test that might last an hour in one state, 90 minutes in another, 45 minutes someplace else. They don't tell you how many questions are on there. You know, when I took the exam in Maryland, it was over 200 questions, but my school didn't tell me it was 200 questions. You know, when I took it in California,
you walked in there surprised.
Yeah, I was like, I just didn't know.
Okay,
right?
so it was really overwhelming, that first experience.
Very overwhelming, and it was tricky, right? And so as I'm reading these questions, it says, which one is not the correct answer? And which one is, all these are true except, or fill in the blank. You know, the top layer of skin is blank. And you're like, hold up, I know this stuff, but the wording, this shit is made to weed people out. You know, you can know all the stuff, but these questions are designed to trick you up just so it can weed you out.
Okay, and you're investing time and money into that first test. Yeah. So it's like a way to avoid. What's the way to avoid? You know what I mean? Being one of those people you said it gets weeded out.
Get my product. The product has the questions, the answers, and it's set up just like you'll see on the test. There might be little variations from depending on which state, but the principles and the fundamentals of what you're going to see in the multiple choices, the different answers, the way they word it, the way they use tricky wording to weed you out. Remember, you're going to be high stress. You're thinking about if your client, your model is going to show up.
Right.
You're thinking about, do you have everything? You see other people stressing out around you.
Okay.
I want all the people that get my course to be the most confident to be able to go in and get their license.
A lot of the students are loving that phase of it, where like they can take this idea. Like I know a lot of people. I know you guys want to pass your state board, and you want to do it without the stress of failure. you also want to get into that shop and, you know, make sure that you're not taking the state board exam multiple times and wasting your time, wasting your money, and you know what I mean, just really going through the extra loops, making mistakes that you didn't have to make. You want to go ahead and speed up that process, the learning curve, you know, and they know what it is. They know why they need it. What's the way they can get it? What's the fastest way?
They can go on Instagram at my page at Hasheem W and check out and just click the link, and that's the easiest way to get it. DM me. I'll actually send you a link if you're having any problems finding it.
Right on. So Hasheem W on Instagram. Make sure to shoot this guy a message if you have any questions about it. I know he's the go-to guy